Hi, I'm Mike Fincke on the STS-134 crew, and you're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Endeavour, and a special good morning to you today, Box.
Thanks, Shannon. That's a rockin' song, one of my favorites, Real World by Matchbox 20.
This is a nice view out looking at the outside of the airlock Quest. Delivered to the station, it had a mass in space of almost 21,000 pounds. The odd-shaped module has two sections, the equipment lock and then the much narrower cylindrical area, which is where the two crew members are moved. A hatch can be closed, sealing them into that smaller area. That's the section that is depressurized to the vacuum of space, and then there's a hatch that is opened to expose what's known as the crew lock to the space environment, and that's the exit and entry point for all of the station-based spacewalks. Also, you see on the outside of the equipment lock, the larger diameter area, the large high pressurized gas tanks. So that's where the nitrogen and oxygen is stored that replenishes the suits. This camera view looks directly into the Quest airlock. Quest launched aboard Space Shuttle Atlantis in July of 2001. The first section of the Quest airlock is the equipment lock, where the spacesuits are housed. Mike Fincke in the foreground, just floating out of view, along with Drew Feutsel, that are the two astronauts that will perform the third spacewalk. And as usual, they are being assisted with all of the preparatory work for their spacewalk by Shuttle Commander Mark Kelly and Station Flight Engineer Ron Guerin. And Mike Fincke called down just a moment ago referencing the acronym ILE, which is a new exercise protocol known as in-suit light exercise. This new procedure is aimed at cutting down the amount of oxygen that the crew members use during spacewalk preps. Rather than spend the night inside the Quest airlock, they actually wait until the morning of their spacewalk to begin getting ready. They will pre-breathe pure oxygen through air mass for an hour as the air pressure inside Quest is lowered from the 14.7 pounds per square inch, which is essentially what you would feel here on Earth at sea level, to 10.2 pounds per square inch, the air pressure that you would feel at an altitude of about 10,000 feet. Once they reduce the air pressure to 10.2 psi, they will then be able to put on their suits and then perform some light exercise that will be conducted for about 50 minutes to raise their metabolic rate, and then that will hasten the purge of nitrogen from their bloodstreams. So it's a little bit of a new approach that's going to be tried on EVA 3, and then they'll review the data from that after the EVA. But so the in-suit light exercise is part of the protocol tonight and for their spacewalk preparations. Drew Feutsel in this view will wear a suit with red stripe around his pant legs, and Mike Fincke will again wear a suit with no markings. The major task for the day is to install a new power and data grapple fixture on the outside of the Russian segment of the International Space Station, specifically the Zarya control module at the basically the interface between Zarya and the Unity module. This you can see very clearly a fairly large piece of equipment that will be going out the hatch with the two crew members for installation on the what's known as the FGB, or the Zarya control module, the first element of the International Space Station that was launched atop a Russian Proton rocket back in November of 1998. This is Mission Control Houston. The official start time of the spacewalk, 12:43 a.m. Central, 1:43 this morning Eastern Time. EVA number 3 underway.
All right, EV1, EV2, get a comm check with your task ID.
EV1, Kaz, how you read?
Loud and clear, how me, Drew?
That's the same. Hey, Greg, I heard you loud and clear. How do you read me?
I hear you great, loud and clear. How me? All right, Kaz, you got it. I'll be over in a minute. All right, great. All right, guys.
And so Shuttle Commander Mark Kelly, with all of the choreography before the spacewalk begins, has now handed over that internal or IV choreography to Greg Shamatoff, who's up on the shuttle flight deck. So he'll be working with the two astronauts outside, going through all of the procedures to install a power and data grapple fixture on the Russian segment of the station for use by the Canadian robotic arm of the International Space Station. And associated with that installation is quite a bit of cabling and rerouting of cabling that will take place throughout this 6.5-hour long planned spacewalk, which is the 247th spacewalk conducted by U.S. astronauts and the 158th in support of space station assembly and maintenance.
Thank you. Am I clear of all your... You are clear. Devices in there?
You want Drew to get there first, obviously.
Yeah, and I'll be following him from over the top.
That's right.
Okay, 3 twists on the first wire tie, and I'll start working the bundle.
The helmet cam that you're looking through is Mike Fincke's. He will have the view with the silhouette number 20 in the lower right-hand corner. Drew Feutsel wearing a helmet cam with the number 18.
Drew, I see your safety.
Now that the work site is prepared, the two astronauts are back at the airlock. They'll be retrieving the new power and data grapple fixture and its supporting structure.
Line is down here. Taz, thermal cover's coming open.
Got the time, thanks.
Because it's such a large piece of equipment, that it'll require the hands of both crew members to assist with translating it back from the airlock over to the work site.
Hey, Rama is out of the airlock.
All right.
There's foot 3. I have a good weight setter on it. Closed locks, and I confirm it's 3. I can hold on to the Rama.
Okay.
It's much lighter than in the neutral buoyancy laboratory training facility.
No doubt. You're dropping your crane on 119 on the Node 1 import stanchion.
Okay, Drew, I have it. You have it. Okay, I have it. You have it. I have it. Okay, you have it. You might as well come one more. Okay, hold on. Okay, I have it. You have it. Moving along, singing our song. Okay, rotate. Okay, I have it. You have it. And I'm going to move some more. Good. A little bit more. There you go. Keep on your workspace. All right, I'm ready to receive. I have it. There you have it. And I'm going to bring it down into a rough position. Okay, I'm right at 1 here. I'm around at 3. Okay, a little bit more to your, by your feet. There you go, Sid. Yeah, so grab the other handle. Oh, sorry, there we go. Okay. There we go. I was missing one. Looking good. Okay, while you guys
There are 3 attach points for this new power and data grapple fixture.
I see your safety tether clear. Excellent. Foot 1 is in the seat. Working on foot 3 just for a quick. I see foot 3. And here on the work site for foot 2. Try not to bump it. Yeah, I've got a hold of it. As long as foot 1 is zenith, the orientation is correct. We have foot 1 zenith. And we have the other feet matching.
All right, so then you can soft dock in any order. Hand tighten.
And I'm holding it, Mike. Okay.
Should be 3 to 4 turns to a hard stop.
I'm not sure I'm getting the threads just right on this one. So we'll just keep working it till we do. Okay. There we go. I got 2 with a few threads on it. Okay. Or soft dock. You hold it down, I'll start on 1. I'm holding it. Number 2 snugged up. Nice and tight.
Okay.
Drew, you should be able to reach this across. I've got it. Okay. And I can reach it. Our plan is coming together.
Nice when that happens.
Amen. All right. So, Greg, the secondary lock on foot number 2, closed and locked. I'm giving you WVS views of everything. You can see everything's nice and snug, no cross-threading, no troubles.
Okay, great. I'm looking at number 2. I see that very well.
And I'll give you the same on number 3. Yeah, foot number 1 is complete as well. Secondary lock engaged, black on black with a good torque.
The crew members Mike Fincke and Drew Feutsel now will move on to the task of beginning the cable connections associated with the power and data grapple fixture, and also with some additional cabling that will provide some redundancy to the electrical systems, electrical power transfer from the U.S. segment to the Russian segment.
Yeah, take your time. If we can get that soft dock, then I can go back, rearrange my tethers, and get the PGT. Okay. But take your time. Get the gear underneath here.
and make sure you guys inspect the mounting bracket on the bottom and the connectors.
Yeah, we see the mounting bracket on the FGB side looks good. You guys can see that also if you're watching on WBS.
Yep, I see that.
And you're watching NASA TV.
Thank you for watching NASA TV.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, those church handrails are kind of handy sometimes. In this case, they're very handy. Okay, you want me to grab the VSC from you? Yes, I do, and if we can soft lock it or get it secure, that'll be helpful. So okay, you want it out of the MLI, right? Yes, so you got it? I have it, yes. And I can hold the MLI. Yeah, how about if I hold this and you feel the MLI off? We can do that. MLI going back to the bag. Okay, right now you'll see the tether on it. I confirm the tether. Okay, 2 and 3 are going up, 1 and 4 are going down.
That is correct.
And I am soft docked. And I saw we did a good inspection of the bottom. Yep, and it's just magnets, so the feel looks good.
This view of Drew Feustel's helmet camera as he works through the second task, which is to install a video signal converter on the Zarya module. He's in the process of mating the connectors. 2 hours, 32 minutes into the spacewalk, you're looking at Drew Feustel. Very good representation of the size of the International Space Station as he continues his work to reroute some jumpers, some cables associated with providing some redundancy on the power system, the American to Russian converter units that transfer power from the U.S. segment over to the Russian segment of the station. This is the bulk of the remaining tasks of the EVA.
Make sure it's secured as required. If you need another adjustable, you can use another one.
Okay, I'm clearing it from the MMOD shield as well.
Copy.
That view was Drew Feustel over on the U.S. laboratory Destiny. He's identifiable by the red stripe on his lower torso and up on the backpack.
Okay.
Anybody wants to watch?
That's right.
Right at it.
We'll get you there at daylight.
Yeah, it should be daylight in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're looking over the shoulder, if you will, of the helmet cam of Mike Fincke as he has gathered the tools necessary to perform the next task in the timeline for EVA number 3. This to install a cable associated with the external wireless system on the U.S. laboratory Destiny. This task was originally scheduled on EVA 1 and was deferred to EVA 3.
A long hook to your right. Yep, there's handrail.
He and Drew Feustel are above the shuttle's payload bay at the interface between the U.S. laboratory Destiny and the Harmony connecting module.
I need to get my visor up. A nice view of the planet right there, Mike. Yeah. We should take a picture of Mars. That's a good idea. You want to try? You want me to? Let's both.
Drew Feustel's helmet cam looking over at Mike Fincke.
And Mark, my green hook is back on the safety tether pack. It's closed and locked, both reels unlocked. Copy, thank you. And I'm headed back to the airlock. All right. Thank you. You got the lead. I'll be sure to lead my safety tether back on the way down on the cedar spur.
Spanky, you're going to drop off the crew lock bag near the airlock. Copy.
It's a view from Feutsel's helmet camera. You can see Mission Specialist Mike Fincke making his way back to the airlock to put away some tools and get ready for their next task.
Thanks.
With the cabling. Exactly, so we don't get it over your safety tether.
Yeah, exactly. You have to route it under as you come around.
From here, Fincke is going to be moving to the pressurized mating adapter to begin restringing this new cable on the starboard side this time, as opposed to the port where he was working last time, while Feutsel will be moving back to the Zarya module for that end of the installation. View here from Mission Specialist Drew Feutsel's helmet camera as he begins working with some of the cables that have to be connected on the Russian end, while Mission Specialist Mike Fincke has moved on to begin routing the cable that comes from the Unity node end.
Okay, this 669 is demated and now.
As he does that, he's demating some old cables that this new cable will replace. Again, this adds redundancy to the Russian power supply at the station.
Okay, Taz, I think I have a plan to get in there, an alternate route, but looks clear. That's just between the two modules. A lot clearer than it was in other places, so we'll see what we can do.
Okay, we're watching. Looks challenging.
I don't want to pull any connectors apart that we don't need to be.
Exactly.
The rat's nest living up to its name as Mike Fincke tries to work around some existing cables as he tries to demate some old cables and string a new one.
But I'm getting close. I think I'll be able to get to it. I see 638. You can see it in my WVS. There's a spot right here in right where my head is. Yeah, there's these cables here. They're very, I'll say not loose, but there's a lot of slack in them, and I think I can just put my head in and reach for 638 and get it without a problem. Yeah, can you imagine getting in here? Okay, here comes the cap. Right side, left side? There we go, left side, I see it. And again, if you could hold my feet up or safer like you were. Yep, stand by. Okay, no worries. Appreciate all the help, buddy.
You guys are doing great. This is a tough task here. Mike, give me 1 second.
You got all the time, you got 4 hours until my oxygen runs out.
Okay. Good call. All right.
A little bit more. Yep, something like that.
Looking good. Keep it turning. Got it. You got it.
Yippee hooray.
Okay, now. Yeehaw. Good job. All right, now I'm going to go slowly out.
Okay.
Mission Specialist Mike Fincke given the go to begin mating his cables that he's been routing. Since Feutsel has finished his setup work at the Russian segment of the station at the Zarya module.
Through the cable we just disconnected. It's a P138J638. No fog, good pins, and good EMI bands.
Okay, good checks. Go to mate. Drew, you're routing the P19 cable under the, toward the PDGF?
Yeah, I'll get that in just a second. And Greg, J138A has successfully made it. Good news.
Excellent. So, Mike, you can do the wire ties on your way back.
Okay, I completed the first wire tie, which is handle 137, I believe.
130 maybe?
No, in this case, 130 was clobbered by somebody else's.
Actually, I see 137 as an optional connector for that one. That's a good one.
Okay, and then the next one is 130?
120.
122, thank you.
Feutsel and Fincke now both finished up with all their work that was officially scheduled for this spacewalk. There was one other get-ahead. They were going to, had originally been in the plan, but had been pushed aside in favor of finishing up some work from the first spacewalk. That was a data cable installation that would finish up the installation of the power and data grapple fixture that they added to the Russian segment of the station earlier in today's spacewalk. There was an option of possibly going ahead and getting that task done as well, but the team here on the ground and the crew on the space station decided not to attempt that today and just go with the success that they've had so far. Currently 6 hours and 22 minutes into today's spacewalk and heading back toward the airlock. Hatch is now open, as you can see, inside the Quest airlock, allowing the crew to move back and out of the crew lock portion of the airlock and into the equipment lock, where they'll be able to get out of their spacesuits. Getting some help here from Ron Guerin and Mission Specialist or Commander Mark Kelly. First in, Mission Specialist Mike Fincke in his all-white spacesuit, now with 8 spacesuit walks conducted, and one more to go for him on this mission. This was his second U.S. spacewalk. The previous 6 have been in Russian Orlan spacesuits. Mission Specialist Drew Feutsel also now out and being moved into place so that he can begin taking off that spacesuit as well. Today was his 6th spacewalk, his 3rd at the International Space Station and for the STS-134 mission. And he adds that number to 3 that he also conducted during the STS-125 mission at the Hubble Space Telescope.